Have you ever worn a swimsuit or shirt with pineapples on a cruise? Many of us have, with no idea of the secret signals we're giving off. Swingers at sea use a variety of symbols like this, but more often than not, it's just unsuspecting cruisers like you and me. After decades of cruising, I've learned that there's an entire hidden lifestyle happening on these ships that most cruisers have no idea about. I've spoken with some couples that cruise this way, and what they have to say will completely change how you see your next cruise. I'm Gary with Optimal Cruising, bringing you fresh cruise advice, money-saving hacks, and secret strategies the cruise lines don't advertise. Let's get started. It seemed like on my last cruise, every corridor I walked down had at least one cabin door with a pineapple hung up on it, sometimes upside down. What these pineapples actually mean goes back hundreds of years. Pineapples were used as a symbol of hospitality back in colonial days. But in the cruising community, it has come to mean something specific, especially if they're turned upside down. But it's not exactly what you think. I spoke with some couples that are into this lifestyle, and there are 4 things that most people get wrong. Number 1, not every pineapple means something. I've worn pineapples before without having any connotation or even being aware of it. And these couples I spoke with who participate in this lifestyle say that a lot of people even do it as a joke. They put pineapples on their doors, they wear pineapples, kind of mocking the whole lifestyle. One couple in particular, and they prefer to be called lifestylers instead of swingers, said that they never just meet strangers on cruise ships. They get together with people who are like-minded on social media groups like Facebook groups ahead of time. Somebody sets up a group for this type of lifestyle, and so they know going in who's on board that is in this lifestyle and who they might or might not be interested in, and the pineapple is just more or less of a signal to those people that they've already connected with prior to the cruise. Number 2. A pineapple on a door could mean that it belongs to someone of the swinging community, but it could also just be an unsuspecting passenger decorating their cabin door. Number 3, most cruise lines know about this, but they don't interfere because most of these lifestylers do it very respectfully. They're not out in the open. They use these little signals so that they can get familiar with each other once they're on board, but they're not approaching people who are not of this lifestyle, and they're not trying to promote it in any overt way. And number 4, it is more common than you think, especially on some cruise lines. But lifestylers tell me that they tend to avoid cruise lines where there's mostly kids on board, where it's going to be more adult oriented, and that's really their lifestyle anyway. So they're not trying to interfere with family vacations, far from it. They keep this stuff pretty close to the vest. It goes on a lot of cruise lines, according to these couples I spoke with, but if you're not in the lifestyle, you wouldn't know about it because they're very good at being discreet. And if you think pineapples are the only symbols out there, think again. Lifestylers tell me that these pineapples and other symbols are really just conversation starters. It makes it easier to identify them. But there are 5 other symbols other than pineapples that you may not know about. Number 1, pink flamingos or other similar lawn ornament decorations, either on a door or on somebody's clothing, could be one indication. Number 2, I have heard that in some cases a black ring worn on a man's right hand is an indication that they're part of that lifestyle. Number 3, sometimes there will be a planned symbol ahead of time. So These lifestylers will organize a Facebook group and they'll discuss, we're going to use a magnet of the ship and put that on our door, and that's going to be our symbol. So they even go undercover sometimes. And number 4 is similar. They'll organize meeting spots and you won't know about it because they do it privately through one of their groups. And so everybody who is part of this lifestyle will know that at a certain time they're meeting at this bar or in this lounge. And that's when you'll see them wear a symbol or two so they can weed out the people who aren't part of the group once they get to that location. And number 5, there are actually themed cruises that are put together for people of this lifestyle. There are swinger cruises that are basically charters, so you won't find yourself on one of these unless you really go out looking for it. They're not sold directly from the cruise lines. They're sold by third-party companies that put together these charters for this group. Now, I've filmed on a lot of cruise lines, and I can tell you that on the more party-oriented cruise lines, you're going to see a lot more of this. On the more family-oriented cruise lines, you'll see a bit less. And also, lifestylers tell me that they tend to plan cruises outside of big holidays where there's gonna be a lot of kids there. I get new cruisers asking me from time to time what they need to worry about because they hear rumors about swingers and lifestylers on cruise ships. One of the couples that I spoke with who is in this lifestyle said that they're cautious and intentional. They are not approaching anybody who's not already part of this lifestyle. They follow rules, they have strict parameters and guidelines, and if somebody ever approached them that appeared creepy or anything like that, they shut it down immediately. There are really 4 things you need to be aware of as a regular cruiser. Because number 1, this lifestyle community is extremely respectful. They're not approaching random people, and you're not gonna feel uncomfortable even if you're around one of them. It's more likely than not, you'll never know. Number 2, a cruiser told me that it's becoming kind of a running joke that sometimes cruisers will just stick a pineapple on random doors. But even if this happens to you, or even if you happen to wear pineapples just because you have them on your clothes or you're not thinking about it, nothing is likely to happen. You're not likely to be approached because, like I said, these lifestylers, they already kind of know who's in the lifestyle. If someone mistakes you as part of the community, just be polite and move on. They're not going to be disrespectful. They're going to be way more embarrassed than you. Number 3, cruise lines are well aware of this, but because the community is very discreet and polite, they tend to look the other way and don't make any judgments about it. And number 4, the rumors are way overdone. You're not going to stumble upon lewd things going on in the hallway or anything like that. These people, again, are very discreet and very private about their lifestyle. What really surprised me the most is that one of these lifestylers told me that the reason they love cruising is because of the confined space. They bring people of their community close together for a vacation, and it makes it easy for them to find each other and participate in this lifestyle. Now let's look at some of the most overrated myths about swingers. Pineapples and cruising and swingers have been a hot topic all over the internet as of late. But there's a lot of myths out there that are just plain wrong. So I asked a couple of people who are in this lifestyle to help me bust these myths. So the first myth is that an upside down pineapple is an invitation to knock on the door. Absolutely not. It's a signal to somebody else that likely that couple already has been in touch with or is aware of, that's their room. It's just an easy way to find it. Number 2, there's a myth that cruise lines will remove these decorations from cabin doors. And while there has been a cruise line or two that says that they will, they really don't. In practice, it doesn't happen because there usually isn't a problem with it, and these lifestylers are respectful and they respect other passengers, probably more than general passengers do. There's another myth that this happens only on adults-only cruises, like those with Virgin, for example. But that's just not true. This happens on all cruises. It is more prominent on some that tend to be more adult-oriented, and it's less prominent on children-oriented cruises, but it happens everywhere. There's also a myth that you can tell a lifestyler just by looking at them, and that's absolutely not true. These people are, in some cases, pillars of the community. There's doctors, lawyers, professionals, all different types of people are in this lifestyle, and you really can't tell. And that's why they use signals for each other, but they're really designed for others in the community, not for you and me. Should you worry about these symbols and this activity going on cruise ships? We're going to get to that in a minute. But if you have a funny story about pineapples or anything related to this community, drop it in the comments below. I want to hear what you've witnessed out there. And make sure you subscribe to our channel and get all of our cruising updates. Honestly, there's nothing to worry about on a cruise ship with regard to pineapples or this community. They are disciplined, respectful, and they follow a code, strict rules within the community. They do not let people in this community who don't follow those rules. So if you're on a cruise, you really have nothing to worry about as an average passenger. You're not going to be approached. You're not going to have any difficulties, and you're not going to come across something upsetting or unsettling. So now that you know all about the pineapple symbols and the lifestyle community on board cruise ships, there are some other adult activities happening right now on these ships, and I'll tell you all about those right here.